Today on Forbes, free electricity is coming to Texas, thanks to a British unicorn backed by Al Gore. You know the future of the power grid has arrived when your electricity provider wants to pay you to use less of the stuff they are ostensibly selling. That's effectively the pitch to customers from London's $16.6 billion in revenue Octopus Energy. Co-founder and CEO Greg Jackson says, quote, "When the grid operators get busy, they pay a fortune to turn on standby generators. If you use less, we will pay you." He stresses that at the center of the future grid will be a new relationship based on incentivized nudging. For example, Octopus signed up 1.4 million customers for a program that sends them a message 3 hours before an expected peak in power demand, urging them to cut usage and earn 3 times their average power price for the electricity they didn't use. It works. Jackson says that last year, Octopus paid customers $10 million to prevent the UK grid from having to burn up $200 million of coal and diesel. The complexity is not scaring away customers. Since its founding 8 years ago, Octopus has already grown to 8 million accounts, becoming the largest electricity provider in the UK and second biggest in Europe. Jackson credits their popularity in part to their gamification of energy consumption. Think a combination of Shopify, Robinhood, and Uber, he says. And now they've launched in the United States, specifically Texas, one of the few states where electric market regulations allow location-specific variable power pricing. In electric industry jargon, the term for the dynamic when a customer agrees in advance to curtail power usage at times of tight supplies is called demand response. If, like Octopus, you've aggregated enough customers who have willingly handed you the ability to remotely control their home thermostats and electric vehicle battery chargers, then you have what's known as a virtual power plant. Jackson says, quote, "Even if you don't have solar or batteries, we can connect to your smart thermostat. You get paid the real-time price of electricity to cut your usage when the power is needed most." The so-called virtual plant isn't actually making any additional electrons to send to the grid, but by shaving demand at peak times, it serves the same purpose. In the UK, Octopus now manages what's believed to be the world's biggest virtual power plant, totaling 1 gigawatt, enough current to power nearly 1 million homes. Michael Lee, president of Octopus's US-based operation, says, quote, "We're at the end of the time where you just pay your provider a set price for power. We're moving to a grid with dynamic pricing, where 80 to 90% of all hours will be free, and the rest will be very expensive." In 2020, Lee sold the company he founded, Evolve Energy, to Octopus for $5 million. He's now focused on penetrating the Texas market, which fosters competition among retail electric providers, many of whom have gone bankrupt after weather emergencies caused violent spikes in power prices, like during Winter Storm Uri in 2021. Lee expects brisk sign-ups for an offering called Zero Bills, where Octopus promises that you will pay nothing for electricity, as long as you give them control over all your power-hungry appliances, HVAC system, and electric vehicle battery. In 2023, Octopus Energy generated $250 million in profits on an astonishing $16.6 billion in revenues. Not bad for a company born only in 2015, initially as a subsidiary of Octopus Group, an investment company with $15 billion under management, and fintech incubator. Since being spun out of the group in 2020, Octopus Energy has raised $2.3 billion in venture capital, most recently an $800 million round led by former Vice President Al Gore's Generation Investment Management Partners. That valued the company at $9 billion. For full coverage, check out Christopher Hellman's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.